So, today we're going to be going over my Malcolm in the Middle 60-second reviews, scoring, scale, explanation. So, I want this to be a reference video to if somebody, has a question about my score, this is too high, this is too low, this will be a good reference to show exactly what I mean when I give an episode a specific score. So, I'm just going to draw like a chart over here. Excuse the poor drawing skills. So let's say this range right here is 9.8 to a 10, okay? So let me just write this down. 9.8 to 10 range is this right here. Now, if I give an episode a 9.8 to a 10, I think it is flawless. There are no flaws. It is a perfect episode. But, a 9.8, the difference between a 9.8 and a 10 then is 10 has just something that pops. It's just something that makes it extraordinary. It's just absolutely amazing. So they're both flawless, but one just has a little extra thing to make it more punchy. But still, a 9.8 means I have no issues with the episode. So now if, let's say this is like 9 to 9.8 right here. 9 to 9.8. Now, these are episodes that are amazing, but they just have one very, very tiny thing that stops it from being flawless. You know what I mean? Because 9.8 to 10, flawless. 9.0 to 9.8 means it does have maybe just one flaw, and it's a very small flaw. It doesn't impact the quality too much, but it definitely still is an issue stopping it from getting it into the perfect range. However, these are still, like I said, I'm going to say it again just so you can understand, these are still amazing episodes. These are still godly episodes. There's just one tiny, tiny little thing. So next, I guess we'll do 8 to 9. Now, an 8 to a 9 is basically the same thing I just said about 9 to 9.8, but just a little more. So maybe there's a little bit bigger of a flaw. But still, the majority of the episode is godlike. It's amazing. It's something I would watch over and over again for the rest of my life. That's how good we're talking. But it's just the same thing. Maybe there's 2 flaws now, but they still don't affect the episode in a very major way, but just maybe more flaws. Next, we have 7 to 8. Now, these are episodes where there is kind of a substantial flaw that does kind of impact the episode in a fairly, big way. So, as an example, I should be giving examples, actually. Poker 2, which was my first 60-second review, Poker 2, I gave like a 7.35, 7.4. I don't remember exactly. But that was because the Francis plot was actually not very good. So that brought it down to the 7, where it was a flaw that actually substantially impacts the episode. Now, 9.0 to 9.8, Malcolm's car, that had the Craig issue. So that stopped it from being a 9.8 to a 10 because there's that one flaw. And then 8.0, so maybe like an episode with maybe 2 flaws, but still not as bad as a 7.0 like Poker 2 with a pretty substantial flaw. Now we just have everything under a 7, minus 7. Now, there are only a few episodes that I give under a 7. So you will rarely ever see me give a score below a 7 ever, because I think the show is that great. It's that consistently amazing. But, I'm not going to say which ones because I want it to be a surprise, but episodes that I give under a 7 are kind of not very good across the board, which is very rare, but it's happened a few times. So yeah, that's my score. 9.8 to 10, flawless. 9.0 to 9.8 are episodes that have one small flaw. 8.0 to 9.0 are either episodes that are kind of mediocre or episodes that have more than one flaw while still being good for the rest of it. 7.0 to 8.0 is when there's a substantial flaw that substantially impacts the viewing enjoyment. And then below is kind of bad all the way through. So hope you guys will use this to make judgments on my scores and see how they compare and how to understand it.